It is lights out and away we go because it is Tuesday and it is front stretch with the winner of the Milwaukee 250 out in Milwaukee Mile, snap on 250, Milwaukee Mile 250, actually. And that is Christian Rasmussen, his first ever IndyCar win in his second season in the sport. Christian, it's great to have you on the show. How's the feelings been in the garage and throughout Monday, and just the celebration been since your big win at Milwaukee?
Yeah, everyone's very excited, very happy. ECR hasn't had a race win for a long time, so getting that team back in victory lane is a good feeling. Not only for myself but for the whole team. So I think it creates a lot of excitement. There obviously has been a lot of talks about ECR this year, kind of a team on the rise, and really showing that getting a race win here this past weekend, really kind of cemented that.
How special was it to win at the track where last year Ed Carpenter really started to put you on full time? The steps were getting there to put you full time this season, and to win there when it was announced that you would start to take over one of the entries at ECR.
Yeah, that was cool. It was I mean, it was a great opportunity for me last year, to jump in the car, get some experience on the short ovals, end of last year, so that we could kind of see what we needed to work on over the winter, where we needed to get better, and whatnot. And it really helped. We've been super strong on the ovals this year. I think I have an average finish on the ovals of like 4.8,
Wow.
Wow.
across all of them. So obviously very, very happy with that. And yeah, just getting the opportunity in the last year meant a lot. And continuing to do well there is, yeah, I mean, it's part of my job. That's what they hired me to do. So I'm glad I can do my job.
Hey, Christian, so with how limited you guys have as far as testing goes, how important was it to have those two races? Yeah, I think you finished 11th and 16th at the Milwaukee Mile last year. How important was it just to have that experience, especially with that last drive at the end where you had to go stick it on the outside and just be able to be comfortable enough because you ran last year's race? Did that play into your confidence, your setups, just how you guys were able to attack this weekend?
Yeah, it definitely played a role in terms of the experience part. We brought a newly developed package to this weekend, so our car had very little resemblance to the car that we drove there last year,
Hmm.
which obviously was for the better. But yeah, no, I was watching a lot of race film from last year, because we were moving up the field last year as well. So yeah, it's always good with a little refresh on how to do things, and yeah, just really put it out there, and moved up the field. So it was, yeah, it was good.
Christian, you were having a pretty good day uh, before the rain cloud. But obviously, after that, it was a way better day. Just how are you feeling about your day before that caution came out? Like, would that have been a good enough day at the office? Like how much did this that one caution change everything for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's never a good enough day,
Yeah.
unless you win the race, right? We're always striving for the best that we can. But no, it was shaping up to be a good day from even before the caution, even for the whole team. Alex being up front, me being in the up front. But yeah, I was talking to my engineering strategist before the race, and was like, well, if we get this very specific scenario of a late race caution where we can go out and get a tire advantage on other cars, we even set like a lap delta that I feel like we needed to be able to make moves. And then yeah, again that very specific scenario happened, and we took it. We stuck to the plan, took it, which there was. I mean, there was a lot of people that took it. I mean, even though I restarted 7th, there was still, I don't know, I think I was 11th or 12th in line. So it wasn't only cars that was on the lead lap that we had to pass, and there was also cars that was also on new tires that was in front of me. So I've been very good on new tire pace all day long, really. Other than the first stint. So I really knew what I could do, even compared to other cars with new tires. So no, I was pretty excited to see what I could do on that last restart on a 30 lap shootout or whatever it was.
Just the way you drew it up, just the way you guys drew it up. Go ahead, Wyatt.
But there was a moment too, and apologize, I cut it out there, but there was a point where you also got a pit road speeding penalty during that race. Was there any concern when you got that would because you mentioned it, you had the pace on the new tires and seemed like a rocket ship out there passing people on the outside, the inside, wherever you really wanted. Was there any worry about that kind of ruining the day at all?
Yeah, for sure. We lost a lot of track position, but I think the key was that we were, with that caution, we were able to stay on the lead lap, despite having that penalty, which I think that was really crucial, for sure. So we got a little bit lucky with that caution, staying on the lead lap with the penalty. But then, yeah, as soon as we got out racing again, it was straight back to work, and I was kind of back in the spot where I was before the penalty, within, I don't know, a couple laps. So it was pretty quick, and then from there we could go to work.
Christian, so that whole last stint, not only did you have like fresh tires and you passed guys that had fresher tires, but you were able to commit to that high line for a significant portion of that run. Was there any concern that was going to start getting quite a bit of marbles on it, that it was going to start, because IndyCar did a really good job during the yellows to sweep all that stuff, and that only lasts for so long until you guys rubber it or get it all marbled up. But man, you were hanging it on there all the way up until you caught and passed Pelot, but you still used it to pass lap down traffic too. So I'm just curious, as that stint was getting to the end, was that going away from you? Was it getting harder to commit to it? And you were just like, this is the way that this is going to work. I'm going to stick to it.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing you need to think about when you do those kind of moves. But no, the Highline was hanging on pretty well. I don't think I was the only car using it, and I think that plays a big factor in keeping it clean. Definitely by the end of the stints, with a lot of green running, it would marble up. But no, we were still able to do it. I had a couple of interesting moments where it got a little bit close, but we managed to hang on and get it done.
You had your whole race, you had very close, interesting moments. You could see it from the stands and on TV, so it was pretty wild.
It was a wild race. It was a race car that was pretty loose, especially on the exits of the corner. I could really attack the entries quite well, but going on power out of the corners, it was hairy.
So did that help? Did that help you when you were attacking at the end to set them up earlier on the entry versus coming off the exit? Because especially for that pass on Pelot, that was, you set him up on the outside heading into 3, and you guys were still side by side coming through turns 3 and 4. But by the time you got down to the front stretch, it looked like you had a great entry in there, and it worked really well for you.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I think it was kind of across the board. I think where I made up a lot of time on cars in that last stint was rolling the outside later in the corner. Getting the clean air when they would go down on the traditional line, I would stay a little bit higher and run that. It was tough. It was tougher on the low line, to kind of get the grip down there to stay close, especially as you would stay low and then kind of wash up in behind the cars, and then you would get, like, at least I would get a little wiggle and I wouldn't be able to get the exit, which kind of learned that early in the race, that it was probably the high line that you needed to get those passes done. So yeah, even though the car was loose, it was still pretty fast. And even with a lot of corrections, I was still able to commit to power and get those exits that I needed. So with Pelot, it started with a good run out of 2 from running the high line. He went down to defend into turn 3, ran the high line all the way around. We were side by side, and then I think that entry stability that I had into 1, because I sent it in pretty deep to clear him into turn 1 and 2. But yeah, eventually I did clear him, and then off we went.
It looked to me like you were driving like a sprint car around a dirt track, around the way, almost like drifting around there. Which, hey, maybe
ripping the top,
do some
on the cushion.
Yeah, you can do some maybe do some Knoxville Nationals or something someday in your future. He might be pretty good at it. But I've seen comparisons since the win to Juan Pablo Montoya and also Carson Hocevar on the NASCAR side, where it's guys that are really aggressive, they're really fun to watch, but they're really talented. What have you seen any comparisons to other drivers? What do you make of it when someone compares you to like another driver? Because you are your own self at the same time.
I don't know. I don't really focus much on driving a certain style to replicate another driver. I try to do kind of my own thing. I mean, it's always nice when your name is put next to likes of Montoya, and I've heard a couple different names. And I also joined a very small group of drivers to have won races in IndyCar, or a relatively small number of drivers to have won races in IndyCar and won races at the Milwaukee Mile. So no, it's special. We joined a group there, which I'm very, very fortunate to have. Also having the first time winner in IndyCar for a good while. I think the last one was Lundgaard in 2023. So that was really good, especially with how dominant of a season that Alex has had, and not only winning on road and street courses, but also ovals this year. So if there's anyone that you wanted to grab it away from, I guess it would be him.
And in victory lane after the win, you and Alexander Rossi had probably had one of the most memorable teammate interactions after a victory I've seen in years in IndyCar. How much did it mean to get that congratulations from Alex and Alexander, and then what did it mean to talk to Ed Carpenter afterwards as well, and deliver that first victory since 2021?
It means a lot. I think the team dynamic is really good right now. Alex and I, we work well together, and we get along super well as well. And obviously developed a relationship over this year where we've worked together. But no, it's awesome. It's super cool. We're kind of in a little bit 2 different roles in the team, him being the veteran driver and me being the new young guy to come in. But no, it works super well. We get along super well. And I mean, there's been a lot to learn from him this year, having been close to him, seeing how he works through a weekend is definitely something that I've been able to apply a little bit to my side. And it's really nice to have a veteran driver like that that's been at a lot of the big team and has been at the top level for a long time. So it's been very helpful for me as well.
So Christian, you just brought it up earlier about how your oval average finish has been. What do you guys think about moving? You're on the rise. You've got consistency on the ovals, but the road and street course programs. How do you feel that that's going to improve moving forward? I think you had a top 10 at Laguna Seca. I know you had one on a road course this year. How do you feel? There's no more left on the schedule this year, but how heading into the off season, those next steps that you have to take to where you're that consistent across the entire season, including those type of tracks?
Yeah, a lot of work are happening behind the scenes in ECR with our damper program and so on and so forth. So it's this year's been very much about rebuilding and building a base for next year, which I feel like we're doing pretty well. So yeah, we're pretty excited about all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, and I'm pretty confident that we can come with some really good packages for the road and street courses as well for next year.
I think one of the things that IndyCar fans get to see when they head to commercials is the ads between you, Alexander Rossi, Ed Carpenter, and then Danica Patrick, of course, in the Java House commercials that have been really engaging and really a refresher for race fans that really don't see drivers promoting brands as much as we typically did when we all grew up. How much does it mean to you to be a part of a production like that and promote Java House as much as it's committed to this season in IndyCar?
Yeah, it's amazing what the whole Heartland Food Group, Java House, Splenda has done. I think it's a fresh look at IndyCar, and it's something that you haven't seen in IndyCar for a long time, like you say yourself. So no, it's exciting to be a part of. It's a great opportunity for the team to rebuild their brand and get bigger and better, as well as for me and Alex, being on the forefront of that, being able to represent two great brands and really have the funding and the willpower behind it to do it the right way. So it's been very exciting. Those commercials were super fun to film early in the year. Obviously something that is completely new to me. I'm a race car driver. I'm no actor for sure. But no, working with a full film crew like that. I mean, it took pretty much 2 full days of filming those short little commercials with a crew of, I don't know, 50 people.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty huge. But no, it's super fun. It's super fun, and especially as I'm building my name in IndyCar and on the US racing scene in general. It's a great opportunity.
A couple more questions for you. I don't know if I know it's your first, but you've shown how strong you are in ovals that I'm almost ready to say that I know Joseph Newgarden's the oval king. We'll call you the oval prince for now on that regard. Would you like to, we've had great racing product on ovals, though. A lot of it thanks to you, of course. Would you like to see more ovals on the IndyCar schedule? And if so, where should IndyCar go for 2026, especially with the rumors that are floating around?
Yeah, I love racing on ovals. I think it creates a great product for the fans. There's said this multiple times this year. You don't see it anywhere that cars are basically side by side for laps in a row, and I think that's what the ovals create. So yeah, obviously I've taken to it quite well. We're doing super well. I think it's what's one of the main part that I really love about IndyCar is that you have to be good at multiple things. You can't only be a good oval driver. You have to be good on the ovals. You have to be good on the street courses. You have to be good on the road courses. So that variety of tracks that we have in IndyCar is super nice. There's some exciting events coming up next year. Where we could go otherwise, I don't know, but I think IndyCar is doing a really good job with the schedule, trying to make some exciting changes for 2026 and beyond. So yeah, it's exciting to be a part of.
One final question for you, Christian. So you guys are heading into Nashville for the last race this weekend. It's an oval. It's a concrete banked oval. How do you think you guys are going to look rolling off the trucks on Saturday? And what do you think's possible for this weekend?
Yeah, hopefully we roll off the truck a little bit better than we did this weekend, because we were struggling in practice one. I think I was 26th in practice one here at Milwaukee. So it was a pretty good turnaround for us this weekend. But yeah, no, I'm excited for Nashville. We had a decent weekend there last year. So and again, the oval performances in general this year has been really, really good. So I don't see any reason why we couldn't have a good weekend there as well.
We've had Renus VK on the show, and I want to know if you have any cowboy attire ready to go for that weekend.
I do have a cowboy hat laying around here somewhere. If it'll be brought or not, I don't know. But no, I have one.
Well, I can't wait to see it. A lot of us will be there at the season finale to cover the race here at Front Stretch. Christian, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege to have you on the pit straight this morning. Thank you again, and good luck on your next win sometime in the future.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks.
Of course,
so much,
no problem, buddy. That was Christian Rasmussen on the pit straight today. Again, thanks for having him on the show with us, and it's amazing. So
that was a great finish. That's just, remember we were talking about this. We've talked about this on the pit straight with I did with Alex and Brian. What was there left to watch for the rest of this season? And that was it. Great short track oval IndyCar racing. That is why you watch the rest of the season.
I thought that once the championship was wrapped up, nobody cared anymore. But,
well, that's what that happens. Yeah, right.
And yet the crowd was awesome there at Milwaukee. They weren't like, oh well, championship's wrapped up. Let me tear this ticket stub up and just not go.
No, they showed out in force. I mean, I'm proud of IndyCar fans in Milwaukee. I wish I could have been there to see the scenes and just the thriller that Christian put on there. I mean, it was going to be Alex Palou, number 9, and we still have a storyline either way. But I think fans were just thirsting for something like we saw in Milwaukee. I mean, we got it at I mean, Tom, you're there as well. We got it at Gateway as well. And this is what, and Christian put it the right way. We want to see more oval racing. I yearn that I see like a Homestead Miami or Richmond come on the schedule for next season, because I mean we're not going to have the Iowa doubleheader, so that's 2 ovals that we're going to miss. But I think we need to have more than that, man. We've gone away from a lot of the roots of this racing. That IndyCar used to put on in the 2010s and the early 2000s, or even the kart days as well. I know me and Tom have talked about having Michigan on the schedule again. We need to have more of this style of racing, especially with the car that we got right now. Because come the new formula and the new car down the road, who knows if this racing is going to continue to be just as great. It should, though, which just because of how great IndyCar racing has been on the ovals as of recent.
People go to them. That's the key. Like, we could sit here and talk about ovals until we're 87 years old, which I'll get closer to that than you two. That's fine. We could talk about people
will die young.
People just don't go to these ovals. They don't. Look at Iowa without any promotion. Nobody said, okay, I need to put this on the schedule, on my calendar, on my Google app, and go to this and buy the tickets. They showed up at Milwaukee because that right there is an IndyCar just heartland, and they were able to draw that crowd, and the fans were knowledgeable. I mentioned this last year. I've been to multiple oval races, and when things happen on track, usually people are already like just talking to their buddies or whatever, not really paying attention. At Milwaukee, they pay attention. They're tracking not just the battle for the lead, but they knew Rasmussen had good tires. They knew he was cutting his way through the field, not because of the PA, you can't hear anything, but because they are IndyCar fans. And until the ovals get like that, it doesn't matter what IndyCar does unless they put like stand-up cutouts like they did, like NBA did with the COVID stuff. You're not going to get fans in the stands. They just don't show up all the time.
Well, to be fair, Penske's way of marketing Iowa was like, hey, drivers, gather around. We're going to have a race in Iowa. Don't tell anybody. Like, that was the marketing effort for Iowa. So
yeah,
that's
right.
I mean, what was it? The Wisconsin State Fair or
Wisconsin State Fair did the whole
thing. They were all in charge of this promotion, and it was well done. Freaking done.
It's awesome. The environment there is awesome. I wish, and we brought this up again, I'm going to repeat it because it is so darn cool to have a racetrack right next to a state fair, because all the vendors are open and you could just go get, alcohol. That's
Wisconsin's so known for
alcohol and cheese. I think that was like the things that was
cheese
everywhere
curds.
on area. And it was just, you have something to do. A lot of these oval races, if you're trying to have people to have something to do, you walk out on the concourse and there ain't nothing there. And that's not the case at Milwaukee.
Go stare at cornfields in Iowa.
Exactly.
That's the best thing you could do out there. And St. Louis, of course. And St. Louis provides a great show. And they provide great concerts, too, which they were going to show for the Cup Series.
Get it.
They have a Lil Jon for that.
Lil Jon.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's going to be fun out there. I want to transition our focus to another big story that's going to come, and that is IndyCar silly season free agency. And the man atop that is Will Power. I mean, first of all, Milwaukee, coming off the win from Portland, obviously, Milwaukee didn't go his way with getting into the wall while running in the top 10, then spinning out and getting out of the race and causing a caution. Almost looked like he was going to pave the way for Alex Palou yet again on that one. But again, going into Nashville, no deal. And it seems like we're going to know what's going to happen in Nashville. Maybe not. Blackburn, it's getting the witching hour for Will Power at this point to see where he's going to go, or if he even stays at Penske at all.
Yeah, there's not we don't have a firm grasp on what seats are going to open up besides what happens with Will Power. And perhaps maybe there's a very big seat that opens up, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, Alex Palou's situation. But outside of that, I mean, where is he going to go? Possibly maybe a swap with AJ Foyt Racing, where Power goes over there, because the rumor is that Malukas is going to hop over. It makes sense. They have a technical alliance. Maybe he still works with some of the Penske engineers and there's a comfort level there. But outside of that, there's one thing that this is not me reporting anything. This is me speculating. If Prima Racing is not able to, there's a report by Marshall Pruitt, have the funding to continue next year, does a full-time entry that has a charter expand to another car? And, because right now they're capped at 27. So other teams aren't doing that because of this silly rule where they're capping teams at 27 at the races so they can have bumping. If the Prima goes away, they drop to 25. Does somebody expand to another car or two cars and that opens up a seat? We don't know. But Massey, you were there. You talked to, I don't know if it was you or Christopher, talked to Will Power after he got wrecked. Did you get a sense of like how he is like mentally? It just seemed he was frustrated because he has to show something and he didn't get the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, he was. It's interesting. I almost wonder if he was just hanging around because this was an hour at least after he wrecked that he'd been out of the race that I talked to him. Like the race had been over for probably 20 minutes when I talked to him. So he'd been out for a long time and he was on his scooter, but he was just hanging around. It's almost like he's, I don't know, looking for someone to come up to him and be like, hey, you want to drive here next year?
Maybe he's reminiscing. Maybe he's just kind of like,
maybe.
looking around like, these are my buddies. I've worked for these guys.
Yeah. And I could tell you though, the one person he didn't want to talk to after this was Kiffin Simpson, who that might be the last great team bonding between himself and Joseph Newgarden, and that both of them can unite once again over their dislike of Kiffin Simpson.
I saw that. I saw that when
Yeah.
Joseph pulled up next to Kiffin on the front straightaway, and he was like pointing at him.
Yeah. I don't know how Joseph didn't wreck. That was an amazing save. But
What a save.
I mean, I think the best way Will could get back at Kiffin is for Ganassi to say he doesn't want that money and put Will in the car. Hey, Chip, put your money. You're always saying I like winners. Put your money where your mouth is and actually put a winner in that car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's again, that's if, and I'll transition to it. I mean, this is huge news if Alex Palou is really getting suited by Red Bull, that 10 car, that the same car that's won the last 3 titles. I mean, it's more, I feel like it's more the driver, obviously, but that seat is going to be well wanted in the garage. And if that's the case, Will Power's name has to be all over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right. And if the only holdup is, and I don't know if it really is a holdup, is what does Will Power's relationship with Chevy look like? He has driven for them since 2012. Is he okay with hopping over to a Honda? And is Honda cool with, bringing him on board? Money talks. So if someone gets a contract, and if you go drive for Ganassi, that is a salary contract. So he would get paid to go over there. But yeah, that's an interesting thing. But Alex Palou being courted by Red Bull, as reported by Indy Star. I mean,
Nathan Brown,
Wyatt, and Wyatt, out of the 3 of us, you follow F1 the closest. I mean, to me, he is the perfect type of driver to be tried in that Red Bull car, because I know the super license points don't award the championship evenly to IndyCar. Palou has shown he is a step above. Like, his domination this year puts him on that level of, okay, we need to quit effing around here. This dude is quality F1 talent.
Guess what? If he does get that Red Bull, we get what we want.
Exactly.
Alex Palou versus Max Verstappen in the same car. Now, granted, it is tailored, and this is tailored to Max Verstappen's specifications. And Alex Palou has shown dominance in this series to a historic level. I know he's not going to tie history anymore, but compared to the eras, a historic pace for Alex Palou. And the fact that this is even reported by a guy like Nathan Brown shows that this is serious. This is very serious. That and he can deny it. I understand he denied it in the report as well, of knowledge or anything. But I mean, the stuff behind Alex Palou, from the McLaren stuff, the McLaren lawsuit, to Ganassi counter suing, to now staying with Ganassi and putting on this show in 10 car. He absolutely deserves the ride, no doubt about it. And remember, Honda's not going to be with Red Bull either after this season, if I'm not mistaken, for the new regulations. It's going to be a Ford powered Red Bull. And again, granted, if Max Verstappen stays true to his word and stays with Red Bull for 2026, this is exactly what everyone, including myself, would love. Now, does Alex really want? He's been adamant that he doesn't want to go to the F1 side in the past, and I've believed him in the past for that. It's just very interesting as to what I can really say right now that this report's out here.
But if Red Bull calls you and says, "Hey, we have a seat," right? That's like 0.000 milliseconds, like 1 millisecond until you say yes, right? I mean, you do not say no. It's like you don't say no to
I don't know. It's a lot of weird things going on for 26 in Formula One with the regulations, but if you look at that history of the second seat with Liam Lawson, with Yuki Tsunoda, with Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, all the way back to Daniel Ricciardo, we've well documented that. It's starting to become a second guess. Now Christian Horner's not there. There's a lot of turmoil in that team versus a very stable, very dominant and stable situation in Chip Ganassi Racing, where you are controlling the series. Now you're going to go up against the best in the world in Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, and currently McLaren's dominance in that series. And you have to outrun a car that's not equal to you. And Oscar Piastri's fast too, and Lando Norris. So it's going to be tough. I think it's tougher than the report it says for Alex Palou to leave the U.S. and leave the IndyCar series, but who knows?
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Nasty.
He should try it. Like,
yeah,
if you're always gonna think, what if you don't go for it, and then he can always come back to IndyCar.
Yes,
I mean, we saw with Darius Ricciardo that he went to try NASCAR. It didn't work out. He came back and had even more success. So, like, if he goes to F1, I mean, Montoya went to F1 and NASCAR.
He went everywhere.
Yeah, he went everywhere. And he still came back.
Yeah, it still came back. And if he goes and it doesn't work out and he comes back to IndyCar, do you think that all the owners of IndyCar are going to be like, nah, we don't want you anymore?
Oh, no, they'll want him.
They'll want him. So that's a great statement, because the precedent has been there for effing forever for a lot of the IndyCar guys that have gone. Zanardi, Bourdais, you mentioned Montoya, even Jacques Villeneuve, who actually won the Indy 500 and then the championship, came back to run an Indy 500 back in the 2014 or 13, I can't remember. So the precedent is there, and I'm sure when he comes back, all those guys, maybe they had to go to a Dale Coyne or something, but then they got to move back into when the seats are available. If he leaves on a positive relationship with Ganassi, who, by the way, Ganassi has a history of guys going over to F1, those names I just mentioned. I think he'll be Cristiano D'Amato was another one. I forgot about him. But do you think that the entire IndyCar paddock is taking a collection right now to help fund the airplane ticket and everything so that he does go? Like, all right, we got to get Palou out of here. It reminds me of Dixon, who at the banquet for the 500 said he had paid all expense paid vacation for Palou. It's like, go ahead, just get out. We don't want him to go. We don't want him to go because as fans of IndyCar, his historic legacy is being established right now, and that is great. And he has established himself as a great. But I get that if he has to go, then he should to go try. And I think it would be great just to show that IndyCar is up on that level now. Like, this proves it. This is no longer this feeder series to crap. These are guys who are very, very complimentary, and he's one of them.
Yeah, and I think on behalf of open wheel fans around the world, literally, I would love to see this happen. And to bookend this, it makes sense for Palou's career to try it out. And you're right, he can come back to IndyCar and dominate if you want. His legacy is built. If he leaves now, he is one of the greatest of all time. I wouldn't say greatest of all time, obviously, but he would be one of the greatest of all time for the era that he is dominated in. And he can always come back. He's young. I know he's got his family, and he's got a family here with the IndyCar paddock. Whether he stays, whether he goes, we will press on. We'll watch him go on and do great things in either series that he runs in. That'll do it for this episode of the Pit Straight. Again, thank you to Christian Rasmussen, to Ed Carpenter Racing for allowing him to coming on the show. And good luck to him this weekend at Nashville. Good luck to all competitors this weekend at Nashville, as we got the all-star lineup going to that race for Nashville. So we will have massive coverage going there. Tom Blackburn, hey, he's finally going. He's finally going to a dang race. So we dragged him out of the closet for this one.
Thank you,
Massey. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for the great coverage at Milwaukee as well, and thanks to Christopher DeHardy for great coverage as well. He'll be at Nashville as well. Massey, what do you got cooking for your podcast later on the happy hour?
We're still a mystery guest, I guess we'll say. We're still working at the guest together. We'll have a good show. We got some feelers out there for some people, and happy hour tonight with myself, Brian Nolan, and the boss man himself, Tom Bowles.
There's a guest.
There's
kind of
a guest. He's filling in for Dalton Hopkins, who decided to go to Disney World instead of do the show with us. I can't believe
you got to be a kid at heart sometimes, right?
Yeah,
it's the most magical place on the planet.
And I'll have a column later in the week, my Fire and Fridays column, and this weekend was back to the track, but NASCAR. I'm putting some fenders on it. Well, Cars Tour Florence Friday, and then Darlington Southern 500 the rest of the weekend. So we're just staying busy here.
As long as there's no rain in Nashville, can't wait to check out and watch the Southern 500. Be sure to check out the best bets going into the Southern 500 in the first race of the playoffs as well, on Through the Gears with myself. Still working out the guests there for that podcast this week. And then check out Bringing the Heat with Trey Lyle, also ensure who he has for that podcast this week as well. Again, that'll do it. Follow us on our social media, YW Racing, Tom Blackburn 42, and M_Massey22, all on Twitter for all you audio listeners. Also check out Front Stretch at Front Stretch and at Front Stretch Open Wheel on the social media platforms, and check out all of our great content on our YouTube page for those watching live and those listening on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks again, and we'll see y'all next week for the grand finale of the IndyCar season at Nashville Super Speedway.